Now, I would like to invite Dr. Chrisann Schiro to deliver her speech on empowering the transition of young adults with IDD. It's a pleasure to welcome you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this time. I want to thank His Excellency. I want to thank Rehabilitation International for allowing this presentation and the Zayed Higher Organization. And I was kind of pleased in Christoph's remarks, with talking about the origins of Rehab International coming from a children's focus into adulthood, because I think this is what we're talking about, the lifespan activities. We're talking about, in the case of empowerment and the transition of young adults, they have to be first younger adults, and then they grow and they grow and they grow. But often what happens when they come out of secondary education in many countries is all of a sudden we stop working with them. We stop thinking about them. It's like somehow they disappear in terms of the way that people go about their daily lives. So what I'd like to do is to have a video played, which I believe is available, about the work that we do at the University of Memphis Institute on Disability in inclusive higher education, a phenomenon I will share more about with you right after the video. Tiger Life is a program in inclusive higher education for young adults with intellectual disabilities. The purpose is to give them skills to be able to find a job.
If we could get that individual to grow, mature, and understand the world of work much better through our programs, their success rate in finding employment after completing the program triples.
7 out of 10, as opposed to 2 out of 10, actually go to real competitive jobs, make an income that is substantial enough to live independently if they want to live independently.
It's a great place to go to. Tiger Life has taught us how to be preparing for the job industry.
When you live on your own, you have to pay bills and you have to help out with your family.
This movement has gone from people not even being wanted to be in the building to being at universities across the country.
We're funded very differently. We do have those wraparound expenses that far exceed what a traditional university student has. And those wraparound expenses are not entirely covered by tuition. We have to be able to incorporate your help to be able to keep us providing a level of service through employment advocacy and independence.
Well, me, I'm glad I found Tiger Life because they help me a lot, how I find jobs and stuff, how they teach me about the job skills.
You're giving and providing an opportunity for an individual to make a difference in that community.
Real young adults.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
These are young adults with an interest in life. They're an interest in living independently. They're interested in having a competitive job, and that's what it's really all about. So at the University of Memphis Institute on Disability, we are an academic institution, obviously. Again, this is an important part of the whole picture. Universities and academics are a very important part of the research, the data that we collect, and I'll tell you a little bit about some of that, but not a whole lot because I know I don't have a long time to talk. But collecting data is very important, and using that in developing programming is important. We also provide career development and job placement services, and then we have transition programs. And Tiger Life, you heard the word mentioned there, is the name of our program for young adults, empowering them to come to a university campus, to be treated as peers with typical students on campus, even though they're neurodivergent, and to use that to develop social skills and develop job skills, and then go out and become employed. So Tiger Life is our name for our program, but the programs have different names across the United States and internationally. This is a phenomenon that is growing internationally, and I'll again comment a little bit about that. What is inclusive higher education? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not just special ed at college. That is not what it is. This is way beyond that. This is treating them as peers, treating them as young adults. They're special because they have They are people of determination, as the UAE would say, people with disabilities, but they are treated as equals on campus. So the students that we admit will be on the campus about 4 semesters. Some of the programs in the United States are a little bit longer. They are non-degree seeking, and we're very upfront about that. They are there to learn how to become adults and to get a job. Typical age range is between 18 and 29 years of age in the United States, closer to the 18 to 19 because we want them to be close to the age of the typical students on campus. They may be enrolling in college classes for credit or for audit. They may be doing internships at places that will either pay them or give them a job when they finish. They may be doing clubs and activities and being with the other students, campus organizations, fraternities, sororities, different groups that put together sports activities, etc. And very, very important, and this has been mentioned by several of the speakers, and I'm sure will be mentioned by all, is this goal of living independently. So we are very lucky. This summer, we are starting our first residential program where the students can live in the dorms and can live on the campus, and that will continue once the pilot is over this summer. So this is a great achievement for us. And most importantly, the focus on employment and this transition and empowerment of work after graduation. So I don't want to only talk about our program, although I talk about it a lot. Then in the United States, and for those of you that are interested in learning more about this, you can go to the website Think College, 2 words, Think College. And that will show you about all the programs that are in existence in the United States. So back in 2004, there were only 25 programs like this in academic institutions across the country. Back in 2009, which was right after the United States allowed our students to have financial aid and support through the Pell Grant and those other opportunities that other university students are given, it went up to 149 universities that engaged in this. As of 2020, 304, and that number continues to grow every year. There is a program in every state in the United States except Wyoming. I don't know what's wrong with Wyoming, but they'll get it eventually. They'll figure it out. In New York, the state that we're in, there are 32 programs. Florida, 26. California, 22. Texas, 19. In the state of Tennessee, which doesn't have a huge population, we're about 5 million people, we have 8 programs currently. So the universities are figuring this out. Important universities like Vanderbilt University and many of the what we call Carnegie R1 institutions, 14% of the Carnegie R1 institutions in the U.S. have programs like Tiger Life in inclusive higher education. So it's not a small number. And this is, as I said, an ongoing phenomenon. So the way that this happens and is developed is that the programs in the United States have to be recognized as comprehensive transition programs, CTPs. That's a credential approved through the Department of Education that shows that we have a standardized curriculum. The curriculum is developed by people connected to Think College, a committee that puts together the standard curriculum. But the curriculum isn't the only important thing. It's not the curriculum, it's the attitude. It's the fact that they are accepted and that they have, in spite of having an IEP, are going to be treated as typical students on campus. The kinds of activities, as I said, have to do with all of the things that everybody else on campus does, and now at our program, including living on campus. So let me just say how successful these are, and I'm using employment as the way that we're determining success, because there are many ways to determine success. Our program feels that this transition to employment is the ultimate success. Competitive, integrative employment, a real job, not a sheltered job, at a living wage, and full-time. This is what we aim for. Not a part of a job, but a full job. So in the state of Tennessee, before programs, well, still even for the general public, 16.6% of people who are neurodivergent, who have intellectual and developmental disabilities, have this competitive integrative employment outcome. In the United States overall, a little over 20%. In the programs that have the CTP designation that I told you about by the Department of Education, 60%. In our program, Tiger Life, 70%. That means 7 out of 10 of them go on to full competitive employment. And we're working on the other 30%. They'll get there eventually. So again, we've told you some of the student stories in the video. 86% of our students go to completion of the program. We lose very few of them that start. We've graduated 329 in about 10 years of work on this. This is an international phenomenon. It started actually in Canada in the mid-90s, so this is not only just the U.S. Ireland was as early as 2004 at Trinity, the most prestigious university in Dublin. There are programs in the West Indies, in Spain, literally beginning all over the world. And I hope that those of you that have influence can talk to your academics, can talk to your universities and say, this is the next step. This is not special ed anymore. This is inclusive higher education. And that's where we want our young people to go so that they can really have truly independent lives as their peers do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chrisann.